Yo, what's going on, YouTube? And welcome to Goal Line Hockey Live. It's your boy Kevin Forte, and we have some interesting developments. Not a trade that we were necessarily all anticipating, but we did get a trade this afternoon since I last saw you guys. But of course, we have to talk about the trade of the day that is still kind of pending. But thank you guys for joining us here at Goal Line Hockey. Make sure to like the video, and we are going to start going. So we're going to recap the day real quick. The two earlier games, the matinee games, were really, really good. This 6-5 win for the Blue Jackets. The Rangers on the road in Washington, the first game with Ovi back, a 6-3 win for the Capitals. And the most recent game, a 3-2 overtime victory for the Pittsburgh Penguins, breaking their losing streak as they win on the road in St. Louis. Brian Rust with the overtime winner. We have a lot to get to tonight, of course. The big deal, the Patrick Kane trade watch. We're hoping something gets done here before the end of this evening, but you never really know with this sort of stuff. We're going to go over some of tonight's game, our featured game, the Red Wings and the Tampa Bay Lightning, but there is a lot of hockey tonight. We have 4 7 o'clock games, 1 8 o'clock game, and 3 10 p.m. Eastern starts. So we have a lot going on. What do you guys got for us in the chat? Morgan, what's going on, Morgan? Shout out to Ali Desh. He says, insert the GIF. Is it a GIF or a GIF of Mr. Bean waiting on the side of the road? Shout out to Ali Desh. Morgan says, yo, what is up? It's Kev Forte here, just of hockey. Biggie. Shout out to Morgan. Ali Desh says, what up? No, just rage. What's going on, man? Let's go. Ali Desh, Sens versus Habs on CBC. Yes, we could keep an eye on that game as well. Morgan says, sup, boys. Ali Desh says, hockey night in Canada, baby. Yeah, so we will feature that game as well because that is the big game in Canada. So we can do that as well. We also have a rematch of the 2011 Stanley Cup Finals between the Ottawa Senators and the Montreal Canadiens. So that should be a pretty interesting game. But the Boston Bruins and the Vancouver Canucks are meeting up again. So that should be interesting. Carolina, Anaheim is coming up here. We've got a couple of interesting ones. And then, of course, the bigger night game is the Dallas Stars and the Vegas Golden Knights. I have some interesting thoughts on the Vegas Golden Knights. If a team is willing to open up about potential trades, and we could go over that today. Yes, that's for you, Morgan. So we'll take a look at that as well. So the latest news on the day, we've got a couple of interesting things, guys. And before we get going, guys, make sure to like the video. It definitely helps us out here at Goal Line Hockey. There's 6 of you guys in here. There's only 1 like. The math doesn't add up. Make sure to get those likes up, baby. Guys, thank you so much, as always. So let's get into some of the news today. So for the Chicago Blackhawks side of things, Patrick Kane and Sam Lafferty are healthy scratched due to roster management, to the point where San Jose, who took the road trip with the team, with his Blackhawks teammates, he ended up leaving the facility in San Jose and is taking a plane back to Chicago tonight to be with his family. The Rangers made a deal earlier today, trading Vitaly Kravtsov in a high-risk, high-reward situation for Patrick Allvin and the Canucks, as well as also seeing Nino Niederreiter. We talked about him earlier in the day, potentially being linked to the New Jersey Devils. Nino Niederreiter, for a second-round pick, is heading up to the Peg to be a part of the Winnipeg Jets. His contract is $4 million per season, and he is not a pure rental. He is there for 1 more year past this season. So the Winnipeg Jets, does this mean they're out of the running for a guy like Timo Meier? Maybe, maybe not, but definitely quite interesting in the fact that he is no longer on the board. Nino Niederreiter for a second-round pick from the Nashville Predators to the Winnipeg Jets. What else are you guys saying in here? What other sports do you follow? I'm going to watch Boston versus Canucks or Philly versus Jersey. Sure. That's interesting. Morgan says, yes, thanks. Ali Desh has hit the like button or I will crop dust you with spicy Taco Bell. Oh, man, that's disgusting. Make sure to just like the video, guys, so we don't have to worry about that. Morgan says, Patty Kane of the Rangers is already done. Not necessarily. It seems like that is going to be where things end up, but the deal has not been finalized. So we're still kind of waiting to see what happens. This was from Chris Johnson earlier. He said, ongoing NHL scratches for trade-related reasons. The list includes Jacob Chikrin of the Coyotes. He's already missed 6 games now. Vladislav Gavrikov, same thing. He has also missed 6 games. Luke Shen of the Canucks has now missed his 3rd game tonight. And Jake Lecision, who was placed on waivers, is also out for 2 games. Patrick Kane and Sam Lafferty will sit out tonight's game for the Blackhawks in San Jose. So things are definitely kind of progressing on some of these thoughts. A thought from Gerard Gallant earlier on the Kravtsov trade. He said it gives him a fresh opportunity. He was a good kid here. He came and worked hard every day with us. It's just an opportunity for our team. Kravy is moving on, and I wish him nothing but the best. We just couldn't find a spot in our lineup for him here in New York. So that's kind of what we're looking at there. And as we hit 7 o'clock, we're starting to see some interesting developments in terms of guys that are in, that are out tonight, who's starting, because we have, I believe, 3 or 4 games here tonight. And like I said, we're also going to be talking about Dylan Larkin tonight. I wanted to talk about that maybe more Monday night in the Senators versus Red Wings game. That is going to likely be our Goal Line Hockey Live next on Monday night at, I think it's 7 o'clock on Monday night. So already pencil that one in. It's not official yet. I haven't posted it on Twitter, but expect our next stream to be Monday night. Blues Freak, welcome to the chat, Blues Freak. I'm not sure if you already talked about this, but what are your thoughts on the Preds trading Niederreiter to the Jets? So I mentioned it just very briefly. Niederreiter goes to the Winnipeg Jets for a 2nd-round pick. Overall, I think it's a good trade for the Jets. The only reason I have some level of concern does this mean that Cheveldayoff is done in terms of the Timo Meier front? Now, it's kind of hard to tell, but it's safe to assume $4 million on the salary this year and next year for Nino Niederreiter per season might take the Jets out of the running. So let's put it this way. They've made it a lot more difficult for themselves to get into the Timo Meier trade market. Again, not the end of the world, but I think it's a good pickup. I liked Nino Niederreiter, even with the Islanders. He's had a good career in Minnesota, Carolina, and he performs in the playoffs. He scores big goals in the postseason. He's done that for years. He scored a huge goal for the Wild back in the day, scored a huge goal for the Hurricanes in the postseason as well. So this is a guy that performs in the playoffs, a good locker room guy, and he's a guy that scores goals. I believe he's got 38 points this season. Or 28 points. I think 10 goals and 18 assists. A good pickup for the Winnipeg Jets. But like I said, I think it's more telling in the fact of Winnipeg still being in on Timo Meier, and that might not necessarily be the case. We also heard earlier today that there is a very good likely chance a lot of GMs around the league are kind of internally already putting the New Jersey Devils at the forefront for Timo Meier. And unless a team is really going to give an offer that wows the Sharks, Mike Grier, it seems very, very likely at this point that New Jersey is the destination for Timo Meier. But again, that front seems to have slowed down just a little bit in the sense that it is Patrick Marleau night, and they're going to be retiring his jersey at SAP Center in front of the Chicago Blackhawks. So expect things to slow down a little bit tonight, but maybe going into tomorrow, into next week. Of course, we are now less than a week from the NHL trade deadline. Expect that to pick up very, very quickly after tonight. What else are you guys saying here in the chat? Morgan says, I have NHL center ice and Boston versus Vancouver is changed for hockey night in Canada. Wow. Is that the case? Is changed for hockey night in Canada. I don't think he covered it yet. Niederreiter is such a wild card, in my opinion. Could be a sneaky good acquisition. Morgan, you're going to watch my Sens? Hop on the bandwagon. Yo, make sure to get the likes up, guys. That definitely helps us out. Thank you so much, as always. And don't be afraid to comment your guys' thoughts on Patrick Kane, the Red Wings versus the Lightning tonight. We'll talk about Larkin a little later. Of course, leave some mock trades if you guys are not afraid of the chat. Leave those down below as well. Ali Desh, I'm watching Devils versus Flyers. All right. So let's talk about an interesting thought I had on the Vegas Golden Knights earlier. And the Golden Knights, I think, are going to be kind of interesting here because if the Flyers are a team that's willing to sell at the deadline, if Chuck Fletcher wants to keep his job, I think that the Golden Knights should be talking to the Flyers. And the reason I say that, there's a couple of guys in Philadelphia, pending UFAs, guys with term that are just not with the coach. Is that really shocking? No. But I think there's a couple of interesting assets that are currently in Philadelphia that could the Flyers this season. Now, I know we talked about Vegas earlier. Who else is left on the board, right? Patrick Kane's going to the Rangers likely. Timo Meyer's likely going to the Devils. So what could the Golden Knights do of substance that can help them up front to replace guys like Mark Stone in the lineup? And a name that I was able to come up with is in Philadelphia. Joel Farabee. Farabee's been having some problems with John Tortorella this season. I know, very, very shocking, right? And Joel Farabee could be an interesting pickup. Now, his contract is $5 million per season. He's got 6 years left on his term. So there is a little bit of you got to really buy into Farabee. He's had a down season this year. But I think that Joel Farabee, for the right price, Vegas doesn't have a ton of prospects and draft picks, but I think Joel Farabee, again, maybe this is something that the Golden Knights revisit in the summer. I think Farabee, for the right price from the Philadelphia Flyers, would be a great acquisition. I think he's a better option than a guy like Brock Besser, in all honesty. But let me know what you guys think of that. Joel Farabee to the Golden Knights, I think, is something that we should be taking a look at. And guys, thank you for joining the chat. And it looks like tonight's starters, former teammates, John Gibson for the Ducks and Freddie Anderson for the Carolina Hurricanes. That's going to be a pretty interesting matchup. I'm excited for this one as Gibby gets ready in Carolina as the Ducks continue this East Coast road trip. Should be a pretty good one here. Tim Stutzla is an amazing player, a great young talent. Yes. Definitely agree with that. I'm actually changing the game I'm watching. It's going to be Sens Canadians. Yeah, that's going to be a good game too. So what do we got here? So they are getting right. Yep. So puck drop is on in Carolina. Hurricanes and Ducks. And I'm kind of interested to talk about the Hurricanes too, because I think that if the Devils are indeed, as if they didn't have enough of a reason already, I think the Hurricanes have got to make some sort of move. I think they're a team that I think Nick Schmaltz, like they really need a center. I think Nick Schmaltz would be a great pickup. And I think when you look at a team like that, like I said, of course, Timo Meyer would be a great fit there, and some of these other guys like Besser and Farabee even, but I think they need a center. And Nick Schmaltz is not the most exciting name out there, but Nick Schmaltz could be a really great center for them. And I think they need some help down the middle. That's the guy I would be looking at if I'm the Hurricanes to make that big move. Let me know what you guys think of that. So kind of a slow start here. We're going to kind of jump around. I'm going to look at the Senators game. Shout out to my boy, Ali Desh. Oh, I can't get the game. I can't get the Hockey Night in Canada game, guys. Sorry about that. We will not be watching that. Oh, so it's going to be a late game, I think, because they're celebrating the 2003 championship of the New Jersey Devils. 20 years since the Devils won their last Stanley Cup, I believe. Yeah, Brian Giunta, man, they're bringing back some nostalgia and some memories from the early 2000s. Shout out to the Devils. That is awesome. And season ticket holders are down on the red carpet, kind of giving them fist pumps. That is awesome. Jamie Langenbrunner, wow. Wow, a couple of throwback Devils. Shout out to Devils and their 2003 championship 2-decade um, celebration. Shout out to that. That's going to be really, really good. So an interesting game in Vancouver as they're still getting ready. The Bruins and the Canucks. That is going to be pretty good. And they're doing some kind of heritage thing in Vancouver, as they always seemingly do. They're always doing some kind of heritage stuff. Let's just go to the game action. Carolina and Anaheim. I just want to watch the damn hockey, guys. And kind of interesting today, Kasperi Kapanen joined the St. Louis Blues. He was placed on waivers yesterday, and the Blues brought him in and is now a member of the Blues. And the Blues and the Penguins played tonight. Now, I don't actually think Kapanen played, considering he was on waivers, but kind of an interesting fit there. And what else do you guys want to talk about tonight? Let me know down below. You found the Bruins versus Canucks game. Is it still during the national anthem in that game? And guys, leave some mock trade for the Patrick Kane deal because I think things have kind of been progressing, but since I last saw you guys, nothing's really happened on the Patty Kane front. What I think is, yeah, they're losing it over this ceremony. So the Devils are having their ceremony right now. So a lot of interesting game. The only game that didn't have two national anthems to do is the Ducks and Hurricanes, and they're already playing. Everybody else seemingly is kind of doing their national anthems and ceremonies and stuff. Morgan and Ali Dash are just going back and forth in the chat. Shout out to No Roids Just Rage. He said, I thought Vitali was going to be part of the Kane deal, but now I have no clue who will be in the return. That's what I thought as well. And things have definitely changed since then because I have no idea what's going to happen there. And guys, we had a great live stream earlier for the Capitals Rangers game. Guys, that was really, really good. Really good, interesting game. We had some cup checks. We had it all earlier. We had a fight, a bunch of goals. The Oilers almost coming back to beat the Blue Jackets on their road trip. Hurricanes with a good opportunity early. And the Canes have 3 shots already. The Ducks got zip. Yeah, the Hurricanes are just burying the Ducks. And shout out to the Ducks. They got a big win the other night in Washington. And Freddie Anderson wearing his Stadium Series, the cherry-colored pads. It's pretty cool. Yeah, this has been a rough season. I like the Anaheim Ducks, but it has been a rough start to the season, or just a rough season in general for the Anaheim Ducks. Things have not gone well at all for them. Ali Desh says, Kevin, have you ever been to Canada? No, I have not. I have not been to Canada. At some point, maybe I will. The closest I've been is like Michigan. But other than that, that's the furthest north I've ever been. I've never been to Canada. But thank you. That's a good question, Morgan. Ali Dush. Morgan says, I'm trying to get all 32 NHL jerseys by 32. Interesting. 32. So you mean 32 years old? And I like to watch the Senators Canadians game, but I do not get coverage for that. So for now, we're going to watch Boston, Vancouver, and the other game. Ethan Bear is bleeding like a mofo. Ethan Bear just, I think it was a shot or a high stick. I don't know what that was. Ethan Bear just he got blasted. Shout out to Ethan Bear. He just got blasted in the face with a slap shot. Jesus. The first 37 seconds of the game, Ethan Bear's already on the bench with an injury. Hopefully he's okay, but geez, he just got blasted. And Rick Tockett's talking it over. What are you guys saying here? Unless restrictions prevent folks in the U.S. from using it. Ali Desh, I've kind of stayed away from Canada that's one of the reasons. Is he bleeding pretty bad? Yeah, it was all over the ice. I think they're cleaning it up right now. Ethan Bear took a beamer right on his freaking nose, face area. Hopefully he's okay. And shout out to the Lou Lamoriello era of the New Jersey Devils as they're celebrating their 2003 Stanley Cup championship. Like we've talked about earlier, I think some of the moves that we're seeing right now are kind of, I think a lot of teams like St. Louis and Winnipeg today, I think they made a statement. St. Louis picking up Kasperi Kapanen's contract. They didn't have to do that. I think that might take them out of the running for Timo Meier. Kind of the same thing for the Winnipeg Jets, taking in Nino Niederreiter and his $4 million cap hit. I think those two teams are, again, you never can guarantee, but they've made it a lot more difficult by doing that. So I think we're looking at a spot where, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, some teams are falling off the board for Timo Meier. I think they're done waiting, or they just know that it's the Devils at this point, and it's just a matter of actually getting the deal done. Shout out to Jackie Moon. Welcome to the chat. He says Wings are going to thrash the Lightning tonight. Yes, and we're going to talk about Dylan Larkin tonight because I think Larkin's contract situation is definitely interesting, considering the fact that you're dealing with two very hardball people in Steve Yzerman and Pat Brisson, who is the agent of Dylan Larkin. I think at the end of the day, a lot of people are starting to say it's going to be similar to the Bo Horvat number, 8 years, but I think a little bit higher AAV, maybe not 9 million, but 8.75. That is my prediction. I think a lot of people are saying that, but I was between 8.5 and 8.5 million per year. So $70 million over 8 years for Dylan Larkin and a $2 million signing bonus. So maybe it gets it up to 72 million over the full 8 years for Larkin. But let me know what you guys think in terms of a Larkin extension, or do you guys think he'll leave Detroit? I find it very hard to believe that he'll leave the Red Wings. I just don't see it. But it's definitely going to be something to watch for here because, again, you're talking about the Red Wings, a team that they're kind of screwed if Larkin leaves, right? There's always the leverage side of it where, he wants to be in Detroit and using that, him being a Michigander, kind of using it against him. But at the end of the day, Larkin could go to 31 other NHL franchises that will move the sun and the moon to bring him in. But definitely going to be interesting to see what happens. Shout out to Shaka. Welcome to the chat. Shaka, he says, currently inside SAP Center. And hopefully you enjoy the presentation of the Patrick Marleau jersey retirement. That is going to be pretty exciting. A pretty exciting night in San Jose. And hopefully more things coming. Potentially with a Timo Meier trade, and hopefully some other stuff, right? Ali Desh says, my texting is about to almost entirely stop. I always text with my dad and uncles during a Sens game, but I'll be here. Oh, okay, Ali Desh. As long as you're here, we will be here with you. Ali Desh said, I'll send you pictures on IG. Okay, thank you, Ali Desh. Yes, I'll definitely take a look at that. So the Bruins, it looks like, take an early penalty here. And I'm sure Jack Edwards is very happy about that. And it looks like Derek Forbert's going to the box. And the Canucks are on the power play. So we'll see what happens here. Power play for the Canucks against the Bruins. The Bruins already have 4 shots. Looks like Forbert. Yeah, Forbert just held him. Kind of a weak call, in my opinion. But, I mean, Forbert held on to his jersey. So we'll see what happens in this one early if the Canucks can jump onto the Bruins. Yeah, the Bruins penalty kill best in the NHL. I mean, they're just they are a tough hockey team. Bruins, power play penalty kill. I would not want to be playing the Bruins on any given night. Jackie Moon says, Mo Seider is the future. He will have the C on his chest someday, a future beast. Potentially the next Nick Lidstrom, right? A lot of people like the potential of what Mo Seider can be. And the idea of him, Simon Edvinsson, Albert Johansson, even a guy like Peronic that, he's been there for a while, but I think they have a real potential to have one of the best defensive groups in the NHL. Give it another 2 or 3 years. You need some patience there in Detroit, and I think they've been patient enough. Stevie Y is building a real contender there in Detroit, and I'm excited to see what the future of that hockey team is. And they might even make the playoffs this year, which would definitely a lot of Red Wings fans would love to see postseason hockey in 2023 there. And I think for the first time in Little Caesars Arena. And what are your predictions for that game tonight between the Red Wings and the Lightning? Let me know down below. What's the score going to be for the Red Wings and Lightning in Hockeytown? And leave the game winning goal. Who's going to get the game winner? Let me know. And I got to give credit. The Canucks power play actually doing pretty well here against the Bruins. But the Bruins are keeping them to the outside. And as I say that, a really good chance for, I think it's Elias Pettersson had a good chance. Or Kuzmenko. Oh, man. So he whiffed on it. Overall, a pretty good power play for Vancouver, but the Bruins hold up strong. Yeah, Jackie Moon, let's go Red Wings. I got $40 on the Wings to win 100. All right. And you know what? The Red Wings tend to play well against the Tampa Bay Lightning, especially with Stevie Y, right? Morgan said, Kev, predictions for Knights vs. Stars and final goal scorer. Now you're turning the tables on me here, Morgan. Dallas versus Vegas. Is the game in Vegas, Morgan? I think it is in Vegas. If I had to predict, it's in Vegas. Okay. Morgan's not going to like this. I'm going to go is Ottinger starting tonight? Because if Ottinger's starting tonight, that's going to have a little say on what I think here. And guys, thank you for joining the chat. Make sure to like the stream, guys. It helps me out a ton. He is, yeah. Okay, so if Jake Ottinger is starting, I'm going to say 3-1 Dallas. I know Morgan's not going to like that, but 3-1 Dallas is my prediction. I mean, I hate to say it, the reason I say that is they have to win. Like they're on, I think it's a 5-game losing streak or the Dallas Stars. They have to win at some point. Unfortunately, I think the Vegas Golden Knights will be that victim. Bro, you crazy. We came back from a 3-0 deficit. We'll see what happens. I got to be honest, I haven't been watching Vegas. I know they won the other night. But when Jake Ottinger's in net, he's really tough to beat. I doubt that. Okay, Morgan, we'll see what happens. What else do we got here? Man, this should have been like a 7:30 start for the Flyers and Devils because it's already almost 7:30 and they're still waving the cup around the Prudential Center. And a big win for the Penguins today. Jackie Moon said, "You a big Lightning fan?" No, honestly, I'm more of a Red Wings fan. But my big team is the Islanders, Jackie Moon. So Ali Dash said, "Be honest. How many times have you gone to the bathroom after eating all that Taco Bell late last night?" I actually haven't been. Ali Dash, I have an iron stomach to Taco Bell. Like my stomach is immune to Taco Bell. Hell yeah, bro. Yeah, I like the Red Wings. Islanders, sure. Yeah. I'm an Islanders fan, and I like the Red Wings. I like Steve Yzerman. I like Mickey Redmond. I like watching the Red Wings broadcasts. And I follow them on YouTube because I like their pre-draft stuff. They do a lot of good coverage on the Red Wings. Um, I like watching the Red Wings stuff, and they got really nice jerseys. Just everything about the Red Wings, just the brand itself. Um, if I had to choose a team other than the Islanders and the Ducks that I really like right now, it's definitely the Red Wings. And that's why I kind of wanted to do a live stream of them. Canucks are playing quite well here. They're definitely making things a little interesting for the Bruins. And I want to see Dmitry Orlov tonight, how he does in his first game in Boston, and Garnet Hathaway. See how the Bruins kind of roll out their new lines with a couple of new big additions. Jackie Moon said, "I was gonna say Stevie Y built your program if you were a Lightning fan, LOL, but didn't have to." Yeah, no, you don't have to do that. Don't worry about that. I'm an Islander fan that's upset with Tampa because I could make the argument in 2020 and 2021, had it not been for the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Islanders might have had a cup or two. Who knows? The Islanders were really good during those 2 years. They went to the conference final, and they just met up with the Tampa Bay Lightning, who really are that good. And a big save by Linus Allmark and the Bruins and the Canucks. A pretty interesting start so far. I think we've got the live feed now for the Senators Canadians game. Let's see. Maybe a false alarm? Nope. Yep, false alarm. So Flyers Devils, what do we got here? So they are underway in Newark, New Jersey. Flyers Devils. They're both not playing that well, but it's that rivalry is a pretty big one. They're close to each other. So I expect this to be a pretty good game. Dawson Mercer. Shout out to Dawson Mercer. He has been unbelievable. Samuel Ersson is 6-0 so far in his NHL career since he got pulled in his first NHL game. But since then, Ersson is 6-0-0, and that is the Philadelphia Flyers goaltender. Shout out to him. Ali Desh, you got to let me know how the Sens are doing. He says, Sens off to another slow start, getting badly outshot already. Uh-oh. The Canadians have been playing really well here for the past month now. They beat the Devils last week. They beat the Islanders a couple weeks ago in that big game in Montreal. The Habs have really been had they been playing a little bit better earlier in the season, they'd be more where the Sabres and Red Wings are in the standings. And the Red Wings have a real chance to make the playoffs here this year. I think they are a really interesting team to watch. I think that the Red Wings, unfortunately, I think they're going to be fairly quiet at the deadline. If they make a move, they might bring out a piece and then add one back. But I think for the most part, they will be fairly quiet. Shout out to PJ. He said, just came back from the gym. Damn right. I had a little workout here before the live stream. I bet you did. Shout out to Ali Dash. And guys, I see 9 of you in here. Make sure to like the stream as we kind of get closer to puck drop between the Red Wings and the Tampa Bay Lightning. This Stevie Y Bowl, as I like to call it around here in Goal Line Hockey Land. Speaking of Tanner, I think for the Tampa Bay Lightning going into the deadline, this could be kind of interesting. I think that two guys they should be looking at are Tanner Jeannot and thank you for the likes, guys. Tanner Jeannot and Alexander Carrier. They're on very good contracts in Nashville. Tampa Bay trying to sell off assets. That way they can maybe get rid of guys like Cal Foote. They can move out guys. Unfortunately, like a guy Forgot the name. They're really good forward prospect, Jack Finley. I know Tampa doesn't want to move those guys, but when you already have a 1, 2, 3 of Sorelli, Point, and Stamkos, it makes him a little bit more expendable. But let me know what you guys think down below. What do you guys think of Alex Carrier and Tanner Jeannot potentially being good fits for the Tampa Bay Lightning? That's one of my mock trades I've been doing here. And some of the guys in the chat actually thought that was a legit trade because it does sound fair for both teams. So again, it does come at the cost of Jack Finley. I want Tampa Bay Lightning fans' thoughts on Jack Finley, but we'll see how that goes. And the Flyers wearing their home orange jerseys on the road tonight in New Jersey. I think a lot of that's because of the ceremony and the festivities in New Jersey, kind of throwing it back, wearing their quote-unquote road white jerseys as a home jersey tonight. At some point, I want to go to one of these games between the Flyers and Devils, a pretty good rivalry here on the Northeast Coast. And hopefully, maybe not this year at this point, but next year, I'd love to see a game between these two squads, especially as the Devils are getting a lot better. And, the Flyers are having problems, but back in the mid 2000s, like the way the Penguins and Capitals have been, that's how the Flyers and Devils rivalry used to be. Like two really good juggernauts in the Eastern Conference. Flyers with a good chance. And who's in net for the Devils? Is it Vitek Vanacek? Can't really tell. Guys, thank you for getting the likes up. You guys are awesome. Ali Desh said, are you going to watch the Flames versus Avs game? I'm in maintenance mode. That's awesome. And like I said, guys, while a bunch of you are in here, the next time I will probably be streaming, I will probably not be streaming tomorrow on Sunday. We will be back Monday night between the Senators and the Red Wings. And maybe we'll get some more intel on Dylan Larkin, hopefully a deal gets done, but I don't think that's happening. I think this is going to be an off-season decision. I think the Red Wings want to see if they make the playoffs or not first. But definitely an interesting development. Nobody's really talking about because I think everyone assumes Steve Yzerman and Larkin will get it done. But again, you start getting into territory of like John Tavares, where you say all the right things and then you end up going somewhere else. But again, the thing is, if Larkin was anywhere else, you would assume he would end up going to the Red Wings, right? So it's one of those things that's the hometown team, and Steve Yzerman and Pat Brisson going at it in contract negotiations. This is definitely going to be an interesting storyline. I would expect a full no trade clause for Larkin as well. That's all the ironing out the details that I would expect. Morgan's back. He said, hey, I'm back. I was on the phone with one of my good friends. That's great, Morgan. We're glad to have you back. And how is the Senators Habs game, Ali Desh? Are they doing okay? How are they doing down there? What team does your friend cheer for? Uh-oh. Sleepy. Oh, no. So the Sens not playing well. Both teams look sleepy. Oh, man. Of course, Hockey Night in Canada game is the sleepy game. Uh-oh. Oh, Joel Furby took a shot after the whistle. He's like, nah, I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, I think Farabee needs a change of scenery. I think are you watching the Flames game? No, I'm not. I'm watching the Devils Flyers game right now. He's not into hockey. Come on, Morgan. You got to get him into hockey. Only hockey and nothing else. You have to eat, sleep, and breathe hockey. And if you're not, you're not a good person. Oh, no. Here we go. Morgan. Breaking news. I'm trying the Dr. Pepper flavored Peeps. Guys, what the we live in a clown world where we have Dr. Pepper flavored Peeps. Yeah, Morgan. Yeah, you need a new friend, Morgan, if he does not watch hockey. But shout out to Ali Dash and Morgan. Dr. Pepper is nasty. That sounds disgusting. I ain't gonna lie. I think I would try that, but and I'm really mad because I don't know if you guys eat Built Bars, but there's an animal cookie Built Bar, and I cannot find it. I think it's sold out. And they were saying 3 days ago it was available, and I can't find it. I think it is sold out. I don't know if you guys eat Built Bars, but you guys can let me know down below. Good save there by Vitek. I'm sure that's Vitek Vanacek. Yeah, Vitek Vanacek with a good save there on the Flyers. So let's go to the Canucks and Bruins, former 2011 Stanley Cup Finals. Things are still pretty quiet. I think the Canucks are giving the Bruins a run for their money here on the West Coast. Tanner, what's going on, Tanner? He said, let's go Flyers. We got a Flyers fan in the house. What's going on, man? Welcome to the chat, Tanner. So, Tanner, if I assume you're a Flyers fan, right? So, what are your thoughts on the Flyers potentially trading Joel Farabee? I know you maybe don't want to see him get traded, but what would you be willing to like what would the price be? No, just want the Devils to lose. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, the Devils the Devils are playing well. So I assume you're a fan. I'm a Hurricanes fan. There you go. Yeah, so I think the Hurricanes, what do you think of the Hurricanes maybe going for a guy like Nick Schmaltz? I think he's a good fit for the Hurricanes. Um I think Travis Konechny, I don't know if the Flyers would do it, but a trade of Travis Konechny to the Hurricanes, I think is kind of an interesting one. Um, but listen, I think it's something. I think the Hurricanes need a center. I think it's okay they missed out on Timo Meyer. I think it's okay they missed out on Patty Kane. I don't think that's the right fit. They need a center. Like I said, I think Nick Schmaltz or Travis Konechny could be some of those guys. And I've heard rumors that JT Miller could go there. Please, for the love of God, if I don't even like the Hurricanes, I know Tanner does. They don't want anything to do with JT Miller right now and the drama he has caused the Vancouver Canucks. Jackie Moon said, was hoping Soderblom would be that, but he's still a little gangly. I don't know what gangly means, but if we don't get Timo, I'm going to be so upset. No, Tanner, don't be upset. Honestly, I think they need a center in Carolina. As much as Timo Meyer sounds good on paper, I think they are better off there. Travis not playing for the Flyers. Yeah, I think Konechny is indeed hurt. And that's what always happens with Travis Konechny is the second he starts playing well, picking up some steam, consistently getting up some points, he gets injured. That's how this works for Travis Konechny. But yeah, that is a good point. Morgan says, "Hey Kev, I think Vegas beats Dallas 3-2." Okay, so at least we're close on the score, 3-1, 3-2. Shout out there. Ali Desh says, "Any interest in Austin Watson?" I think Carolina should go. Listen, Carolina could also go for a guy like Austin Watson. I think that's a good fit. I think that's definitely something to look at. I think another thing too, and guys, welcome to the chat. Some of you guys joining in here. Don't be afraid to join the conversation. We have a fellow Red Wings fan here and Jackie Moon. Shout out to you. Gangly means tall and skinny. I thought that was, well, I guess that is gangly. Okay. All right. Schmaltz could flourish on a Hurricanes team. Yes. I think he's a perfect Brendmore guy, Nick Schmaltz. And again, you're getting some term with him too. So he's not a rental. Like, I think if they got Nick Schmaltz and a guy like Lawson Krause, right? You get the center, you get the winger as well. Guys like, again, maybe it's either Christian Fisher, Nick Schmaltz, and Lawson Krause. Those combination of three guys, you get two of those three guys. I think that's perfect for the Carolina Hurricanes. Let me know your guys' thoughts on that. Oh, Elmer is super tall. Yeah, Elmer Soderblom. Yeah, I think Red Wings fans are really gonna like Elmer. And has he played a little bit in the NHL already this year, Elmer Soderblom? Let me know. And even Albert Johansson on the back end, he's a big guy. Albert, right? Big Al. Tanner says the Canes always go for players with term. Yeah. Yeah, and I think they'll do that here. And same thing for Lawson Krause and and not Christian Dvorak, Christian Fisher. I think he's very underrated. I think even you want to talk about the Red Wings. I think the Red Wings could also go for a guy like Lawson Krause or the other winger. I keep forgetting his name. Lawson Krause and Christian Fisher. I think those are two guys. If they lose out on a guy like Tyler Bertuzzi and he ends up leaving the team this summer, I think those would be two really good fits in Detroit. Jackie Moon says he's played a few games. Yes, he's got hurt and got sent down. Okay, yeah, and I think the Red Wings have done that a lot, right? A lot of like guys coming up and then getting sent down, guys coming up and getting sent down. It's hard to get attached to them when they keep coming up and down the lineup, but I think that's the Red Wings' attention to detail, making sure these guys are developing properly. And guys, I got to say right now, shout out to my girl Ange. Smells like sauce downstairs, and I might be having to leave the stream in a little because the food smells really good in there, and we might have to do that in a little bit. But and now that the connection's unstable, that's a little bit concerning as well. And hopefully things pick up as we get closer to puck drop between the Red Wings and the Lightning. I think that's going to be a really fascinating matchup. The Red Wings always play well against the Lightning, specifically in Detroit. But that should be a really good game. And Vancouver right now is playing really well against Boston, despite getting outshot 14-6. Like the eye test, like Vancouver's passing the eye test for me right now. They got a power play earlier, forcing Boston, keeping them hemmed in their own zone, forcing a penalty. Really good stuff. Like I said, guys, don't be afraid to mention stuff in the chat. I'm here to listen to you guys. PJ says, I hope Eichel scores. He is on my fantasy team. Vancouver sucks. Shout out to PJ. And again, I think like the Leafs, I think Vancouver and Toronto are the two cities that if you're not from those cities in Canada, you hate them, right? If you're a Jets fan, if you're a Senators fan, if you're an Oilers fan, because they get the most coverage and everybody hates them because they're like, these people are so right? I think that's what most people outside of Toronto and Vancouver think. You guys can let me know. But I think that's the strong sentiment from most teams out there. Shout out to Linus Ullmark standing on his head once again. And that Bruins defense is playing really well so far. Back to Flyers Devils. Ali Desh says 100% Kevin. Okay, so I have a pretty good pulse for the Canadian fan base. I think 30% of my watch time for views is from you Canadians. So shout out to the Canadians out there. Morgan says, hey, I have a blizzard coming into my city. Yay. I don't know if that's sarcastic or legit. Maybe you like the snow, right? You get some snow days, but it's on a Friday or Saturday night. So you don't get off from school for Sunday, right? Are the Bruins winning? No, Dennis, it is a 0-0 game right now in Vancouver. Ali Desh says, I wouldn't say Canadians hate Vancouver, but they aren't very liked outside of the province of BC. Okay, so that's a fair point. And like I think the East Coast, right? I think a lot of the Senators and Habs fans and stuff like that, like they're not a huge fan of the Canucks, but they're far enough away. Like I think if you ask Flames fans and Oilers fans and Jets fans, there's more of a hatred toward Vancouver, just geographically wise, right? And we've already got 10 likes on the stream, guys. Thank you so much. We have hit the 50-minute mark. You guys are awesome. We'll probably go a little bit longer. This might be a shorter one. We already chugged out a live stream earlier tonight. PJ says, Flames fans, we hate Oilers guts so much. Yeah, that's fair. There's obviously that rivalry being so close to each other. And I'm kind of annoyed I can't get the Sens Habs game. Not even in French. So it's already the first intermission between the Ducks and the Hurricanes. And it seems like we're just kind of at this point waiting for the Red Wings and Lightning, which is going to be on in a little bit at 8 o'clock. Puck drop in Detroit. I'd love to go to Detroit next season. I need some Red Wings fans in the chat. Yeah, Jackie Moon, if you're still here, I want your guys' thoughts about Detroit because I'm looking to go to Detroit at some point to watch a game. And I want to know what's going on in Detroit if I ever go up that way. Potentially next season. Oh, so we got a little bit of back and forth. Garnet Hathaway, of course, in his first game with the Bruins, getting a little bit feisty with the Canucks. And shout out to R2 Ratu playing in his second game with the Vancouver Canucks since the Islanders trade. Tanner says, why in the world do all these NHL insiders have Jordan Greenway on their top 25 trade lists? Because guys are coming off the board, unfortunately. That's why Greenway is on the list. With guys like Kane, Meyer coming off the board soon, Tarasenko, O'Reilly, guys like Jordan Greenway start to very quickly creep their way into the top 25. PJ says, Red Wings are a good team, good arena with a terrible goal horn. Oh, man, PJ doesn't like the goal horn. I guess it's a love or hate with that goal horn. I like the Red Wings goal horn, honestly. I think it's a pretty it's just an old, right? That just reminds you of Joe Louis Arena, right? That's really what that goal horn. It's just such a I don't know. Maybe it is a gross goal horn, but I like it, honestly. I like the Red Wings horn. Shout out to the Red Wings horn. It sounds like my alarm clock. Shout out to PJ. Ali Desh says, send score. So the Senators get on the board. The age-old question, did Vegas steal the Avs goal horn? Oh, steal the Avs goal horn? That's a good question. Did they steal the Avs goal horn? Maybe they did. Maybe George McPhee heard it and he's like, yeah, you know what? We'll take that one. Nick Holden, his second of the season. And the Ottawa Senators with a 1-0 lead in the first period over the Montreal Canadiens. And so far, that is the only goal for the 7 o'clock starts. Carolina, Anaheim scoreless after one. Bruins, Canucks scoreless at this point. And Flyers, Devils halfway through the first period, scoreless in that one as well. If you're doing scoreboard watching. PJ says, Sens have an amazing goal horn. The sound is so pleasing. Yeah, that is really nice. The Senators, Ali Desh, it is very nice. Tipped by Broussard, we're pretty sure. Okay, so that might change. Hey, Kev, you should go to Vegas, bro. Not going to lie. Yes. So here's my thing. So I have it in two separate categories. So NHL road trips that I would do by car are Pittsburgh, Columbus, Detroit, and Boston. Those are the four somewhat local that I would do by car. If I had to go on a plane, Nashville and Vegas are at the top of my list. And the Bruins score on the power play, a power play goal by Boston, and it looks like Hampus Lindholm. And the Boston Bruins score the first goal in Vancouver tonight. Yes, it is Hampus Lindholm. And a very frustrated Quinn Hughes goes to the bench. Hampus Lindholm, yes, thank you, Morgan. And the Bees get on the board first in this one on the power play. Good point shot. I really liked Hampus Lindholm in Anaheim. I was really hoping they could get something to work long term. But that's how it works. Ali Desh says PJ is 20, Kevin is 22, Morgan is 15. I'm old enough to be everyone's dad. Yeah, Ali Desh is 40, I believe. Shout out to Ali Desh, everybody's dad. Tanner says, I know everyone knows this, but the Bruins are scary good. Yes. I think the rest of the league is on Bruins watch and just hoping the Bruins collapse in the playoffs. But with recent additions, Garnet Hathaway and Dmitry Orlov, we might have to be waiting a little bit longer. And as we get closer to the top of the hour, the Red Wings and Tampa Bay Lightning, we are going to be in store for a good one. And I'm not sure who's starting tonight. I want to take a look at the game center. So they're projecting Ville Husso and Andrei Vasilevsky in between the pipes. This should be a really good game. I mean, it's hard not to go for Tampa Bay, but the Red Wings have some confidence right now. They're trying to fight their way for a playoff spot. They beat the Rangers the other night. They kind of caught the Rangers off guard. I really like what I've seen from them. Morgan says Boston's goal horn should be a Bostonian saying Pakyaka in Harvard Yard. That's pretty funny. I think that's a pretty good impersonation. And the Bruins Zombie Nation goal song too is very good. Shout out to the Bruins goal horn and goal song. But the Red Wings, like I said, Ville Husso and Vasilevsky, Pia Suter with 4 goals in his past 5 games, Dylan Larkin with 7 points in his last 5 games, despite not playing in the past 2 games. So Dylan Larkin hopefully will be back in the lineup without suspension this time around. And I want to see some updates on the Red Wings in terms of what's going to happen with Jake Wallman. And I think he's played really well with Mo Seider. But are the Red Wings potentially going to move out Jake Wallman to bring in an upgrade alongside Mo Seider? Because I assume when the Red Wings are going on deep playoff runs, we're probably not going to see Jake Wallman and Mo Seider as your top pair. But I want to hear Red Wings fans' thoughts on Jake Wallman. Do you want to keep him long term? Do you want to see an extension? Do you want to see them try to trade him for something? Let me know your guys' thoughts on that. And right now in Vancouver, we're in the final minute of the first period. Oh, Vancouver came so close to tying the game. Tanner says if they don't pick up some scoring, maybe some depth defense, and for the love of God, fix their atrocious power play, they won't make it far. Are you talking about Carolina, Tanner, or are you talking about the Red Wings? Guys, thank you for joining us tonight here as we are hitting the 1 hour mark on Goal Line Hockey. The Wi-Fi is holding up for us. Make sure, if you haven't already, make sure to like the stream. That helps us out here at Goal Line Hockey a ton. We've got a lot of fans in here. I haven't seen any Tampa Bay fans. Shout out to the Red Wings fans here in the chat. Yes, Carolina. Okay. And I think a lot. And Boston, Marchand just scored. Oh, I know the Canucks fans love. Oh, there's some D-bag Bruins fan with a goal light on his head. Oh, he's going to get his ass kicked if he keeps doing that stuff. And it is 2-0 Boston. And I think the Sportsnet feed from Vancouver just showed Lego Rocks. I don't know if you guys know him on YouTube, but Lego Rocks, I think, was just on the stream. I don't know if he's actually in the game or at the game, but it looked a lot like him. Ottawa has a top power play this year, and we suck. Yeah. And again, that comes down to the system, I think. I think that's the problem with Brendan Moore's system. It's a little more of the 200-foot game. Ali Desh says, I follow Lego. Yeah, he's pretty good. I like Lego Rocks a lot. He's putting out some really good content. I got to say, his thumbnails are incredible. Shout out to Lego Rocks' thumbnails. Brad Marchand, also known as the Route. Yes, also known as the Rat. Yes, thank you, Morgan. That is very true. I think everybody sees Marchand as the Rat. No, he's talking about Ottawa's power play is actually very good. He's okay. No Kevin Forte. That's of course. He is not everyone can be me. That's all right, Ali Dash. But no, he does some really good stuff as well. So it's 2-0 Boston. If you missed that last 5 minutes, I think it's 0-0, but nah. Vancouver kind of had it taken to them at the end of the first period. And Carolina, Anaheim still in the first intermission, but I'm getting ready for puck drop at Little Caesars Arena, the most intimidating arena in sports. And they're getting ready to go here in Detroit. They still have 10 minutes till puck drop. Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, so we still have some time till puck drop in Detroit, but stay tuned, guys. We will be here for that. Oh, he's saying the Canes power play is at the bottom. Okay. Morgan says, I miss Timmy's, known here as Tim Hortons. I don't, oh, is that the coffee place? Morgan says, hey, Kev, Vegas Golden Knights goal song should be Elvis Presley's Viva Las Vegas. I agree with you. Hasn't it been their win song, or is it not their win song any longer? I'm not sure about that. But yes, it definitely should be, if nothing else. Um, but what do you guys think if things don't work out for Larkin in Detroit, if he went to the Vegas Golden Knights? I'm sure Morgan would be a big fan of that. But imagine Eichel, Larkin, Chandler Stevenson. I mean, that could be. I think Red Wings fans would rage if he went to Vegas. I think the NHL landscape would rage if Larkin ended up going to Vegas, but maybe Viva Las Vegas is the next home of Dylan Larkin. I don't know. That could be really interesting. And like I said, I think Red Wings fans would rage, but could be interesting. Larkin to Carolina would be better, obviously. Yes, of course, Tanner, because you're a Canes fan. Of course, you want him to Carolina. I don't know. I just know how Vegas is, the way they run things. I could see them going after Dylan Larkin this summer. Even if he really wants to go, wants to return to Detroit, he might use it as leverage and be like, listen, at this point, I want to see my options. He might talk to a couple of teams. He might end up coming back to Detroit, but I think he's going to talk to some teams. I think Vegas, Minnesota, and Detroit, those three teams could be the finalists for potentially landing Dylan Larkin this summer if he somehow gets to free agency, if he even gets to that point. Ali Desh says there are some Tim Hortons in the States, but not many. Yes, the Joe Louis Arena had a Tim's inside. Not sure if it still exists in Little Caesars Arena. And it did not taste the same as Canadian Tim Hortons. Uh-oh. Ali Desh is spilling the beans about the Tim Hortons not being that good in the States. That's funny. Probably true, though. I would take the sound advice from Ali Desh on that one. I don't actually drink coffee, though, guys. I do not drink coffee. And it sounds like they're getting ready for the second period in Carolina. So we'll get back to Tanner's game. He said, you think Kane in New York is pretty much a done deal after the moves the Rangers made today? Yeah, I think so. I think they cleared up a roster spot or two. Jake Lucian on waivers and Vitaly Kravtsov. So they freed up $1 million. And like I said, they free up two available spaces. Don't be surprised if the Rangers end up adding two pieces here. Maybe it ends up being like Patrick Kane and a defenseman like Jake McCabe, or potentially they end up going for a guy like Alex Vlasic, who I've mentioned in the past as well. I think that would be a really good pickup for them. But let me know what you guys think. If there is a second piece attached to the Patrick Kane trade from Chicago to the Rangers, who would you guys like to see going to the Rangers? And see what happens here. I'm coffee until I turn 30. Wow. So Ali Dash took a while. Maybe I'll do that at some point, but I don't know. I don't think I would want to drink coffee. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Maybe someday, right? Laugh for Kane straight up. LOL. Yeah, I think that dream has died, right? A couple months ago I said that. I don't think the Rangers are going to have to give up that much. They might not even have to give up a first round pick, depending on what value is attached. And that's why I think they might throw McCabe in the deal as well. That way that they can get a first round pick and maybe another good pick from the Rangers, packaging them up together. There seems to be more value in that sense. So we'll see what happens. PJ says, do you take pre-workout? Yeah, I drink C4. And sometimes it kind of messes with my stomach really bad and stuff like that. I don't think I drink enough water when I take it. But yes, I do take C4. Yeah, more likely Capo Caco. But again, even Caco, I don't think they do that. Batch 27. That's interesting. I've never heard of Batch 27. So it is the first intermission in Montreal, a 1-0 lead for the Senators. And as of now, it is a Derek Brassard goal. The tip in from Nick Holden's shot. Water. Wow. Really strong pre-workout. Oh, batch 27 is a really strong. So maybe I have to upgrade my drug here of choice from C4 to batch 27. I'll have to check that out. Thanks, PJ. Yeah, I worked out 3 times today. I do work out a lot. And again, it's lighter workouts, but I work out for an hour and I drink my water. There you go, Ali Dash. Shout out to you. PJ would know he's 8 feet tall of pure muscle madness. There you go. There you go. Good chance for Carolina. Try and add to their lead. Morgan says, I don't take a pre-workout. I just drink water and grind. Shout out to Morgan. And yeah, you're still young, Morgan, to be taking pre-workout and stuff. I didn't start doing that stuff till I turned 19. So maybe wait a little bit longer, just naturally just continue to develop. You're probably still going through puberty and stuff like that. Wait till you kind of get to like 18, 19, 20 before you start doing that stuff. You don't need to do it yet. I didn't start working out till I turned 19. And a good say, yeah. So Carolina's buzzing here to start the second period. Kakanyemi. Thoughts on working out on a fast? It depends on what you're trying to do, Ali Dash. Is it, and PJ might be able to give you some insight too. It's one of those things where you have to be careful. Like if you're at a caloric deficit, it's good. But it's hard to do. You can do it, but trying to gain weight and muscle and also get lean, it depends on what you're trying to do. Are you trying to get lean or are you trying to get big? Especially if you're starting out. Ali Desh says, I don't work out much these days, but I'd always work out early in the morning on an empty stomach. Yes, that's exactly what I do. Keep your carbs and protein high in caloric deficit. Yep. Preach from PJ. And what else do you guys got for me in the chat? Do you guys have anything on the Red Wings? Dylan Larkin, Tampa? Let me know. Ali Dash says, trying to lose my broiler, aka belly. Hey, listen, you got to start somewhere, Ali Dash. That's how it starts. Morgan says, hey, Kev, on a good day, I can bench press 175. On a bad day, like 170, 165. I actually don't bench press that much. I do more dumbbell and cardio. That's kind of my working out that I normally do, resistance training. I don't do a ton of dumbbell. I got to get back on the squat rack. I don't have my squat rack with me right now. I definitely haven't been hitting legs enough. I hate bench press. Yeah, PJ. Yeah, he hates bench press too. That's why when people ask me how much do you bench, I don't actually know, which I probably should know with how much I work out, but yeah, never feel it in my chest. Morgan said, another beast of a man, and he's technically not even a man yet. Scary. Yeah, at 20 years old. State of Survival says, does Chikrin move before the deadline? I don't know why Arizona doesn't lower their price. It's getting stupid now. Yes. Thank you for joining the chat, State of Survival. That's a great question. I think the reason is similar to the Timo Meier thing, where it seems like teams that are selling, like the Capitals or the Blues, ends up creating more of a market for those guys. So I think that Timo Meier and Jacob Chikrin trades will take down to the wire because they still want to see who else could jump out as a potential landing spot for Chikrin. So I do think Chikrin will get traded on deadline day. That is my prediction. Same thing for Timo Meier. They need something to cover on deadline day. So I think that's what we're going to see. Those two guys get traded on March 3rd, next Friday. Timo Meier and Jacob Chikrin, but I do think Chikrin will get traded. I think it's going to come down to the St. Louis Blues and the LA Kings, who has the better offer. So that's my thoughts on Chikrin. Morgan says, I do like a 3-day thing. First day, upper body, second day, lower body, third day, core, and then another day, core. I actually do core workouts on a exercise ball in between sets. So that way I'm kind of I keep myself moving. Thank you for joining us tonight, guys. Make sure to like the stream. It definitely helps us out. And we are going to go We're watching the Ducks Canes game, but we're going to jump over real quick to the Red Wings Lightning, which should be underway very shortly. If not even getting into the national anthem, which I think they're doing right now. Yo, we got a super chat from the one, the only, Ali Desh. $2.79 Canadian. Yotes want 32 first-round picks and a child's kidney for Jacob Chikrin. Shout out to Ali Desh. That's great. Tanner says, do the Blues go full rebuild? No, Tanner, they will not go full rebuild. And the reason I think that is they are one move away, whether that's Timo Meier or Jacob Chikrin, potentially from being a playoff team next year. Considering they have young guys like Jordan Kyrou, Robert Thomas, and what I think is still a pretty good back end right now. I think they are destined to be back in the playoffs. And similar to what the Jets were last year going into this year, I think that's what we're going to see for the St. Louis Blues next season. I think the Blues could potentially run the table in the Central Division, depending on what happens with Minnesota and Colorado. But watch out for the St. Louis Blues in 2023, 2024. That's my take. But great question, though, Tanner. Morgan says, I'm dead. The Ali Des super chat. Yep. State of survival. What is your favorite team? I always see you with a different jersey. That's because I have a jersey of all the teams in the NHL, and I pride myself on that. I am a New York Islanders fan. That is my number one team since my first birthday. I went to a New York Islanders game. I went to an Islanders game for my first 10 birthdays-ish. Every year, I've been an Islanders fan. But I have grown accustomed to a team on the West Coast, and that is the Anaheim Ducks. That is my team on the West Coast. So it's the Islanders and the Anaheim Ducks. Shout out to State of Survival. Welcome to the chat. Kevin owns all the jerseys. That's right. Ali Desh knows what it is. I also my second team. Of course, it has to be. Morgan says, Ali Desh, I'm trying to be a Kev Forte Jr. It should be Vegas, Kevin. We'll see what happens. I think Vegas could be interesting. I don't think they're going to trade Timo Meier, and Shaka would probably agree with me and vouch for me. I don't think Timo Meier is going to Vegas. But I think depending on what happens with Larkin or Chikrin, I think Chikrin would be a great spot here for the Vegas Golden Knights. We'll see what happens. Bruce Cassidy, it should be more me, not him. It's not fair. And we are underway in Little Caesars Arena, the Tampa Bay Lightning, on a road trip during the Red Wings homestand. The Red Wings playing well recently. They played the other night, the New York Rangers, who are playing really well. And Tampa Bay coming into town. The Stevie Y Bowl. Shout out to the Stevie Y Bowl tonight in the Motor City. Forward line one. So Tampa's juggling the lines. They got Hagel, Point, and Kucherov, Killorn, Sorelli, and Stamkos. You know, what's crazy about Tampa Bay is the amount of depth that the Lightning have on their team. Like Maroon, Belmar, and Perry is your fourth line. That's a third line on a lot of teams around the league. Hedman and Bogosian, Sergachev, and Perbix. Yeah, Tampa Bay needs another defenseman there. And Ian Cole, and Cal Foote. That's why I keep saying Tanner should know. I think Alexander Carrier is such a underratedly good pickup for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Nashville should be getting some calls from Julian Brisebois before the deadline. State of Survival says, does Austin Matthews up? Yo, we got a super chat from yours truly, PJ, $6.99 Canadian. He says, funding the chicken parm. Thank you so much, PJ. That is awesome. Thank you so much for the super chat. You are the best. You know, I can't pick a favorite, but you guys are awesome. And Tampa Bay is on the penalty kill. Corey Perry in the box. Oh, that was a weak call. Tampa fans are not going to be happy about that. And it's funny you say funding the chicken parm, PJ, and Ali Desh is asking, what is Ange cooking? It smells like that Italian. I smell garlic and onion in that sauce. I'm probably going to have to leave the chat early tonight, guys, because we have some chicken parm probably being cooked downstairs or something because it smells so good. And she went to the store earlier. Shout out to Ange. Send the recipe. I'll have to ask her, PJ. Ali Desh says, I wouldn't worry about his no trade clause. I'm sure he'll want to leave Toronto by July after another first round exit. Ooh, throwing some steam at Toronto. And guys, thank you for getting the likes up to a bunch of you guys joining the chat. Make sure to like the video. I definitely appreciate that. State of Survival says, I can't wait until the Leafs lose in the first round. I think a lot of people are waiting for that. But a Red Wings power play early in this one against the Tampa Bay Lightning. A weak call, honestly. Oh man. So we have some 4-on-4 action. So that's a makeup call by the refs. Do I love it? No, but the first call wasn't that good. And we have 4 on. What is going on here? Yeah, 4-on-4 hockey. Okay. Kind of an interesting start so far. Yeah, Italians don't give up their recipes. That is true. So 4-on-4 hockey here in the first 5 minutes at Little Caesars Arena. This should be a good one. And so far, it's been pretty good. We're just kind of missing the goals. And what do you guys think of the score, what is it called? The board ads. What do you guys think of boards ads? What are you guys' thoughts on that? Because I think Gary Bettman said fans love the advertising on the boards. I disagree with that. So he definitely didn't get my input on that one. PJ's okay with it. They're trash. Some are cool. Hey, Kev, I'm German and Italian, so love me some chicken parm. Shout out to Morgan. Taco Bell, Knights takes good behavior and 5-on-5 for the Red Wings. We'll see if they can do that. More ads equals more money for the league. I get it. Yeah, that's true. And also love some German food. What German food? Bratwurst, pretzels. I think hamburgers and cheeseburgers are German. What kind of German food do you got, Morgan? I love me some German. And I want Red Wings fans' thoughts on Jonathan Berggren. I think he's a really good player for the Red Wings. I think he's a guy that could be a long-term top 6 forward on the Red Wings. I think there's some real potential with what he's capable of. He's so young still. And of course, he's a Swede, right? Jonathan Berggren. He's got such a great name. I just love saying his name, Jonathan Berggren. Shout out to him. Schnitzel and Spätzle. I don't know what that is, but I do know it. I don't know what. PJ BRB. Well, see you in a little bit, PJ. So Tampa Bay gets a shortened power play after the 4-on-4. State of Survival says, I'm taking it you are American. Yes, I am, State of Survival. I am American. I'm from New York. What's up with the bankrupt RSNs, regional sports networks? I don't think the cap is going to move for a while still. Forget about 10 million cap increase. Yeah, that is true. That is true. I think that the whole Bally Sports and stuff like that, it was definitely a miscalculation by the NHL. And I honestly feel bad for those franchises. I think Root Sports Network, right? I think Penguins, Colorado, a bunch of those teams are really in trouble. And it's, if nothing else, money aside, it's not good for the game, if nothing else. So, of course, the back payments and stuff like that is not great for the announcers, reporters, and everybody involved. But that's unfortunately, like I said, a miscalculation by the NHL. But a great point there by State Survival. Joe Veleno taking faceoffs. Interesting. So far, both teams trying to feel each other out. Red Wings and Lightning. Only 3 shots in the first 5 minutes. Pretty good game so far defensively for both teams. This is playoff hockey, honestly. Both these teams are playing like teams that are just gearing up for playoffs. And I think a huge part, if the Red Wings are to make the playoffs and have success this year, they need Ville Husso to continue to play the way he has been playing. He's kept them in a couple of games that maybe they shouldn't have been. And that is going to be the difference, I truly believe, if the Red Wings go on a run or not. State of Survival says Zadina has been a bit of a disappointment. Yeah. And especially considering they could have drafted, I think, Kachuk after that, right? He was still on the board. Yeah, it's not a great look there. But I think Philip Zadina is a decent player. It doesn't help when he said all that stuff like, "Oh, I'm going to bury the back of the nets of the teams that didn't select me." That never usually goes well. I get the whole like, the Joker origin story side of it, but when it doesn't, just show us on the ice. You don't have to tell us what you're going to do. Just freaking do it on the ice, right? Don't tell us what you're going to do. Just do it. So I am rooting on for Philip Zadina. I like that prove it wrong mentality. Nicholas Bauer, welcome to the chat, Nicholas Bauer. He said not Kachuk, but Hughes was available. That's even worse than Kachuk, honestly. Quinn Hughes. That's right. That's who it was. And Red Wings fans were upset because, listen, that's a guy that played at the University of Michigan in Quinn Hughes. And I think a lot of people were like, what? We took Zadina over Hughes? Yes. Thank you, Nicholas Bauer, for giving your intake there. Fight in Montreal. Uh-oh. Who was the fight? Is it Josh Anderson? Is it Arbor Jacki, or is he still injured? You got to let me know, Ali Desh, who was involved in that fight. Because I can't watch that game, unfortunately, as much as I'd love to watch it. Not available for me on my pirate bootleg streams. Pizzetta versus Watson. That's interesting. Morgan says schnitzel and spätzle is like a German supersized fried piece of chicken with a thick boy pasta. Anything with thick boy in it sounds good to me. Shout out to Morgan. That actually sounds really good. I'm not going to lie. Still 0-0 in Carolina, but the Ducks are getting outshot. 23 shots so far for the Ducks, for the Hurricanes, 10 shots for the Ducks. 10 shots for the Ducks, 23 shots for the Hurricanes. Thick boy pasta. Yo, that sounds tasty as hell. If you're ever in Germany, you should get it. Yeah, maybe that's something I could even make at some point. We'll see. He got kicked by a horse repeatedly. I don't know who did, but in the chat for the stream I'm watching, apparently somebody's getting kicked like a horse. I don't know what that is, but if you're ever in Germany, you should get it. It's okay, but it's a little bit heavy. Is that because it's it's a little bit heavy. Yeah, well, it's probably heavy on the carbs, I would assume, right? If it's pasta. Cooking with Kevin Forte, maybe a mini series. Hey, maybe during the summer we could revisit that, right? That could be an interesting series. Trevor Zegras coming up. Let's see what happens here. And turnover. That's been the story of the Ducks season, is coming down, some promise, and turnover. And the Habs tie it. Uh-oh. Who tied it for Montreal? Ali Dash, you got to let me know who tied it. And guys, if you're joining the chat, don't be afraid to chime in. And make sure to like the video. Got a 0-0 score in Detroit between the Red Wings and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Michael Matheson. Oh, man, what a beauty. What is that, his fifth of the season, maybe? Fourth of the season? You could tell the Canes are on a back-to-back. Normally, that would be an insult, but I think they just seem to have the legs, the Hurricanes. Excuse me, the Hurricanes seem to have some legs. Matheson is having a great season. I stand corrected. Okay, but I was right though. Matheson's fourth goal this season. I was spot on with that one though. But again, he's not there to be a goal scorer, right? He's a stay-at-home, tough to play against defenseman. So as long as he's serving his role, and the Red Wings are out shooting Tampa 7-2, and icing here. So the Red Wings with an opportunity to get on the board. Morgan said, "Hey, where is the 2024 NHL All-Star game? I want to go." Apparently, it is going to be in Toronto with special guest Justin Bieber, which just repels me even more from Toronto, is the thought of Justin Bieber. Ali Desh says, "You can tell the Sens are a bottom 10 team. 5 shots and we're over 5 minutes into the second." Yeah, they're getting outshot pretty bad, right? It's 15-5. Canadians. Yep. Too far. And Biebs. Oh, hell nah. Yeah. Yeah. No Justin Bieber here. Nope. 15-5. Yeah. It's a tough night for Ali Desh's boys in Ottawa. Yep. Habs are also a bottom team. Yeah, but honestly, though, Ali Desh, to give your Sens a little credit, the Habs haven't been playing like that recently. Like, they've been playing well the last couple of weeks. They beat the Devils the other night in New Jersey. They beat the Islanders in a great game a couple weeks ago. I was really disappointed with the Islanders' effort, but the Habs, they have been showing up recently. Shout out to the Habs. You know, the Habs have not been playing like a team that's tanking for Bedard. I'm just frustrated with our last couple of performances. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the problem though, right? The inconsistency. And shout out to Braden Point. And the Tampa Bay Lightning strike first in Detroit. When it's on the West Coast again, I'll be there. So Braden Point, the fourth shot of the night. It was a semi breakaway for Braden Point. He's going to score those. Yeah, caught puck watching, and Detroit gives up the first goal of the night. And in the Stevie Y Bowl, Braden Point scores first. And he pointed right to Cooch because Cooch gave a nice feed right to him for that semi breakaway. So Morgan, the rumor is it could be in Seattle in 2025. And then Brad Marchand because they said it might be Edmonton, Seattle, or Detroit. And Brad Marchand said, yeah, a lot of guys are going to opt out of that because nobody's going to want to go to Edmonton, Seattle, or Detroit in January for the All-Star game. And that's why they did it in Tampa Bay and Florida recently. But I don't know how much validity there really is to that. I'd love to see it at UBS Arena with my Islanders on Long Island, but it doesn't sound like that is imminent at this point. Which line was on for Detroit? Nicholas Bauer said. Hold on a sec. I didn't actually see who was out there, but if you check the plus minus, I'll be able to tell who is out there. Who has a minus? The Pia Suter, Jonathan Bergeron, Oscar Sundqvist line. I don't know if that's even a line. And then Wallman and Cedar Moritz Seider were out there. So the Pia Suter line, who shout out to Pia Suter. He's actually played well this year for the Red Wings. And that whole line has actually been pretty good for the Red Wings. But they give up one on Braden Point. I want to see if the Red Wings respond here because they've actually played really well to start this game. But Tampa Bay doing Tampa Bay things. They're not even at their best, and they just find ways to lead the game. I think that line's back out there. Zadina's out there. Sundqvist is out there. Sherratt. Oh, Sherratt missed the net. You got to hit that. Yo, that Sherratt. What do you guys think of Ben Sherratt in Detroit? I think they overpaid big time for Ben Sherratt. And Hronek with a chance. Good job there defensively by Tampa. And Tampa Bay holds on to the lead here. Let's do some Looks around the league. Who else is getting things going? Let's go back to Boston, Vancouver. What's going on there? Morgan says, I'm hoping Vegas gets the dub tonight. Ottinger hasn't been very good lately, so that might be an advantage. Yeah, I think the Dallas Stars, honestly, as a team, just haven't been that good. And yeah, I think he's definitely a big part of that. Nicholas Bauer said too much for Sherratt and Kopp. And I forgot about Andrew Kopp. Andrew Kopp, too. He played well the other night against the Rangers, but he doesn't do it consistent enough. I thought at the time it was a good pickup, but he's looking more like the Andrew Kopp we saw in Winnipeg, unfortunately. But he's still a good player. Again, a Michigan guy there. So I understand why they brought him in. But yeah, he has struggled a little bit recently. Ottinger gave up a 3-goal lead to Chicago. I didn't even see that. Oh, man. Yikes. And again, I think, Dallas as a team just has not been very good. And again, Ottinger's been able to bail them out of a lot of games. So if he's struggling, that's probably a big part of the reason why they're struggling. And they need to make a move. They need to get like a Max Domi. They'd be an interesting team for Joel Farabee too in Philadelphia. But I think that the Dallas Stars have to make some type of move. But again, it's hard. They don't want to give up Gavrek Bork. It would probably take a guy like Radek Foxar, Dennis Gurianov, or Thomas Harley if they are to make a trade here ahead of the deadline for a top 6 winger. Maybe JVR ends up joining the chat for the Dallas Stars. That could be an interesting fit. And Boston is doubling the shot clock on Vancouver. We are starting to see the Bruins take over. 22 shots to 11. 2-0 lead for the Bruins halfway through this one. And yeah, Morgan says the Dallas Stars just look tired. Yeah, and maybe that's what they need. That's what happened to the Islanders. The Islanders looked really tired a couple weeks back before the Horvat trade. Then they make the Horvat trade, and it just adds so much energy to the lineup. So maybe that's what they need to do is bring in somebody that'll bring that energy and give them a sense of confidence that the management believes in them. That's on Jim Nill. He's got to do something here. Uh-oh. Ali Desh is saying no. Montreal scores. So Montreal is up 2-1. Suzuki. I saw Nick Suzuki score against the Islanders earlier this season when the Habs went to Long Island. He's a pretty good hockey player. So halfway through the first period in Detroit, 1-0 Tampa. You know, they should probably be pretty happy with that because I think the Red Wings are probably a little upset. Like, we played fairly well and maybe we deserved a little bit better, but that's hockey. A bad bounce, a bad breakdown defensively by Jake Wallman, not covering point, and there you go. Dylan Larkin on the ice. He's been playing really well. Shout out to Dylan Larkin. He's definitely looking to get that $9 million AAV. You could just tell. The way he's been playing recently, he's going to make negotiations tough. And Pat Brisson is saying, yes, keep playing the way you are. Give me some more money this summer with some of those signing bonuses. Morgan says, I wish Suzuki was still in Vegas. Patches left us. Suzuki would still be here. That was a big risk that Vegas took bringing in Pacioretty. And at the time, a lot of people were mad at Bergevin for that trade. And they brought in Suzuki. Turned out to be a pretty good trade long-term for the Montreal Canadiens. And that's all on Marc Bergevin, guys. What do you guys think Larkin's next contract is going to be? AAV, so annual average contract. Do you think he'll get that $9 million per year? Do you think he'll get 8? What do you guys think? Fire McCrimmon from PJ. That's interesting. I think that's just Vegas's kind of Russian roulette, right? Same as Barzell. $9 million. Okay. 8/8 Barzell. I think it's going to be somewhere in between those. I'm still mad at him. I saw greatness in Suzuki, and they traded him away. Yeah, that was a tough trade, and they've traded Peyton Krebs. That could come back to bite them depending on how he does. 8 years, $16 million state of survival. That's a lot of money. I'm sure Larkin would love to have that deal. I don't think that's going to happen, though. I think we're going to finish up the first period here between the Red Wings and the Lightning and call it a night. PJ says, Kevin, are you a Tavares fan? So the power of indifference is at play with John Tavares. I don't hate him. I don't love him. I don't wish him to get injured or ill will. I just don't want to see him win a Stanley Cup. Let's leave it at that. Those are my thoughts on Tavares. Trey Torres. Shout out to State of Survival. That's a great one. Damn. Yeah. The power of indifference is my take on John Tavares. I don't hate him. I was not the guy that would have been throwing snakes at him during warmups when he came back to Long Island, but I do not necessarily. I'm not a fan of him. Ducks score. John Klingberg. Okay. What's happening with Ryan Suzuki? Is he a bust? I think that's still to be determined. You'd have to ask Hurricanes fan. You'd have to ask Tanner on what he thinks of Suzuki down there in Carolina, the other Suzuki. PJ says, I feel the same way about the whole Oilers roster. Shout out to PJ. Robert Chen, welcome to the chat, Robert Chen. He says, Tavares having a hard time getting out of the first round. Like I said, power of indifference. I don't hate it, but I do get a little bit of enjoyment and entertainment of seeing a little bit of misery in Toronto. Robert Chen knows what's up. Straight facts from Ali Desh. No, I'm going to come down and eat with you. I'm almost done. I'll meet you down there. There's 6 minutes left, okay? I'll meet you down there. So we had a couple guys on hat trick watch earlier, and none of them materialized, unfortunately. TJ Oshie, Evgeny Kuznetsov, and Connor McDavid. Unfortunately, we did not get any hat tricks. And Ali Desh says, be a good lad, Kevin. Listen to your woman. She slaved making that food for you. Yes, I'm going to go down there and eat dinner with her. I haven't spent any time with her today. She was sleeping while I was off of YouTube earlier from our live stream. And now the puppy is crying because he's a pain in the neck. Oh, not getting a house tour. Hold on, guys. Come on. And guys, welcome to the chat. Welcome to some of you guys jumping in here. Yeah, no, PJ, we're not going to do a house tour. That's not happening. But make sure to get the likes up, guys. If you have not liked the stream already, make sure to like the video. It definitely helps us out. Thank you so much. As always, you guys are the best. And I think another interesting fit for the Red Wings, too, if you want to talk about, like I said, I don't know if Vegas is giving up William Carrier, but he seems like a guy that would fit really well with Derek Lalonde and Steve Yzerman. Again, like I said, don't think Vegas is giving up William Carrier. I don't know what Morgan would think of that, but I think that would be kind of interesting. Morgan says, yeah, Kevin, go to your woman. She made the food for you, and she loves you. Go have fun with the woman and eat up. Yeah, we're probably going to go out for a little drive tonight, eat some dinner. And yeah, she takes good care of me, so I'll make sure I give her some attention tonight. I hope Vegas plays Edmonton in the first round. Noise, bro. Have fun. LOL. But like I said, guys, if you're in the chat, everyone deserves an Ange. That is true. True that, Ali Desh. But Monday night, we will be doing a live stream, 7 p.m. Eastern. That's the next time I will see you guys after tonight. So stay tuned for that. Again, I'll release everything on Monday morning so you guys have the official details. But that is my plan. We'll probably be doing a game for Jackie Moon's Red Wings and Ali Desh's Ottawa Senators. So stay tuned for that. Vegas is beaten. Connor overrated. Yo, that is great. I mean, I wish my girlfriend was as good as Ange. LOL. Shout out to Morgan. Thank you, guys. You guys are awesome. So the Devils all of a sudden decided to score some goals. So Jonas Siegenthaler and Jack Hughes get on the board. Siegenthaler's third of the season. Jack Hughes is 36th of the season, and it is 2-0 Devils. So the Devils putting a commanding lead on the Philadelphia Flyers in the second period. And John Klingberg, everybody's forgetting him. Ali Desh had screenshotted that. Morgan, I'm going to show your girlfriend. Uh-oh. Morgan said, bro is lucky he found a girl. That is one in a million. Just talking facts. Ali Desh, you're funny. Yo, you guys are funny. You guys are funny as shit. Thank you, guys. Yeah, John Klingberg, a week ahead of the deadline, maybe trying to raise his value and say, listen, Edmonton, Toronto, if you need another defenseman, I'm available. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Yeah, I think Anaheim would have. I think at this point, they'd probably get a third-round pick for John Klingberg. He has not had a great season this year. We'll see what happens. I think for John Klingberg's sake, I hope he gets traded. And as a Ducks fan, I hope they get some draft picks for him. Morgan says Kevin Forte has spent most of his life living on a Long Island paradise, and I've considered moving. And like I said, Morgan, the other day, I've even considered maybe checking out Lake Tahoe in that northern Nevada area of North Reno. Maybe one day, eventually, I'll go up that way. Like the Coolio lyrics, move to Texas. PJ, it's funny you say Texas because I have considered Dallas. I have considered Dallas, Texas in the past. I have to go down there and visit, but oh, Gangsta's Paradise, but remixed. I'm not sure what that is. I'll have to check that out. An Isles fan in Texas. Yeah, it could happen, Morgan. It could happen. Tanner says North Carolina, us full of transplants, a lot of New York Islanders fans. LOL, you might as well come on down. And see, the problem is with that, Tanner, I'm trying to avoid the New York stupid people that can't drive. I'd rather be in a place that's a little more secluded, if I have to be honest. I can't even drive to work without almost getting in at least 3 or 4 accidents. I'm a very aggressive driver, but people suck at driving. They're either way too slow or obnoxiously just like I don't even mind the people that are aggressive. It's the people that drive so slow and everybody is trying to get around them. That's when the most problems happen. Ali Desh says, no, don't go to Texas. Houston is way better. One of my best friends lives just north of Dallas. I've heard that Houston, there's a huge crime rate in Houston, though. That's the problem I've heard with Houston. Morgan said, I want you to come to Lake Tahoe, bro. We could meet each other up there. Yeah, that's something I would maybe one day. I like the idea of having the desert in Vegas. That's not too far, but also having the north and the snow. I like the snow too. PJ says, which car do you drive? You sound like a Mustang driver. That's interesting. That's a very good guess because I am a Ford guy. And if you guys see above me, it is that Ford white F-150, the one that's in the stream above me. That is my truck that I have. I got a goal line hockey sticker on the back. You guys already know what it is. Free branding. But that truck you guys see is my truck. Sens tie it. Ali Desh, who got it? Who tied the game for the Senators? Let me know. And guys, thank you for joining the stream. Dang, I was wrong. My friend has a Shelby Lariat F-150. Those are nice. Oh, Morgan said, bro, Vegas is like an 8 hours away on a drive, like a 2-hour flight. Yeah, I would take the 2-hour flight to Vegas. Yeah, that's what I meant. Like, it's not far in the sense of a flight. And Vegas flights are fairly cheap, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Nevada is a huge state. I do know that. And like I said, that's part of the reason I like it because there is so much geographical difference all over the place. You could go southern. It's a little bit, and I would like to visit Arizona too. Morgan, how far do you live from the Vegas Strip? Like I said, I think he's like an 8-hour drive because he's like Reno, Nevada, which is like really far away. Yeah, dude, I live in northern Nevada. Yeah, I think that it's really far from like Las Vegas itself. But again, if you're from the east like I am, like within an 8-hour radius, there's like I could drive 8 hours west and end up in like I think Michigan, the Michigan area. So I could cover Detroit, Philadelphia, Columbus, Pittsburgh, the Islanders, the Rangers, the Devils. His radius is Vegas, and that's it. There's nothing else there. It's definitely different. He said also we have a minor league baseball team here called the Reno Aces. I have season tickets. Oh, that's pretty cool. I think they had a lacrosse team, right? For a while, the Outlaws. This is a really long end of the first period in Detroit, but that's good. You guys get more live stream action. We'll be finishing up here in a couple minutes, but thank you guys for watching the stream. For the part we have gotten to already, we're going to do a back-to-back here with the Red Wings. So my Red Wings fans out there, stay tuned Monday night again. Andre Vasilevsky with a huge save on Burt. Damn. Oh, so Morgan's 4 hours away from San Jose and 5 hours from San Francisco. I don't know if I'd want to go to those places though. I don't like where people poop in the streets, but shout out to San Jose and San Francisco. But I guess that's the nice thing, right? Is there's so much that it's far enough away where you're away from it, but it's not far enough where you can't go there for like a week if you really wanted to, right? And you have the no state tax in Nevada, which I really, really like. That is definitely appealing. That's why I like Texas. That's why I've looked into Florida. All those places would definitely be on my radar. But again, a New Yorker going down there, they kind of are like, all right, what's this New York kid doing down here? But that's part of it, right? When the out-of-state Sharks are closer than your home state team. Yo, that's true. And Kevin, the snow is amazing. Yeah, I know, right? But I will always be a Knights fan. Shout out to Las Vegas. I was really hoping the Red Wings could get on the board here before the end of the first period. I don't know. There's only a minute left. It's been a pretty good game so far. I know, Morgan, I won't be doing your team later. But like I said, it's one of the nights where I got to spend time with the lady. And we'll be doing that. Getting out for a little drive, checking out Long Island, doing what we do. Flames are playing later. Like I said, maybe I'll do another hour, 2 hours later. We'll see what happens. If you guys really want me to, I'll do a live stream later because it isn't even 9 o'clock yet. We'll see what happens. Flames are playing later. Do you swerve in traffic? Okay, PJ, I swerve in traffic, but doesn't count as swerving in traffic if you use your blinker, because so many people swerve in traffic without using their blinker. Nobody uses their blinker anymore to the point where they have to put it on the Long Island Expressway. Please use your blinker. It's the law. Yes, that counts. Okay, so I swerve in traffic. Okay, yes, I swerve in traffic. PJ. Ali Dash says you don't have to be here. Just leave the stream running in your empty room so we can still chat in the comments. No, I like talking to you guys. You guys are awesome. But I have to say, my contacts, I've been having problems. Like I think my contacts are just very puffy. So guys, leave your last couple comments down below if you guys want to say anything. Talking about me swerving on the Long Island Expressway, wear glasses. The problem is, though, PJ, I could wear my glasses, but because my light, where I get the lighting from, it has a really bad glare. So, again, maybe I'll try it at some point, but the glare is really absurd. It's like really bad. So maybe I will do that again, but I've done it in the past and I hated it. I wear glasses full time since December 2018. Yeah, good. Yeah, I give you a lot of credit, Ali Dash, because even like when I work out and I really sweat a lot, I don't do well in the summer with my glasses. Main problem is astigmatism. Oh, you have that. Yeah. Yeah, that sucks having astigmatism. I wear sunglasses. Yo, shout out to PJ. He wears sunglasses. I wear aviator sunglasses. That's my sunglass of choice if I had to. And the Senators tied the game. Shane Pinto, another Long Island guy from Franklin Square. Shout out to you. He's been playing pretty well recently. And the Senators tie the game to make Ali Desh happy. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching the stream. You guys are the best. Guys, I'll be back again Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern for the Ottawa Senators and the Detroit Red Wings. Stay tuned for that chat. You guys have been awesome. Shout out to PJ with the super chat. Guys, I really do appreciate those. It makes it really, as much as I enjoy talking to you guys, that definitely helps us out, supporting, paying for my chicken parms and stuff like that. You guys are the best. And also stay tuned. Next Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern is our Super Bowl. It is the NHL Trade Tracker Trade Deadline live stream, 10 a.m. Eastern on Friday, March 3rd. Stay tuned for that as well. Guys, make sure to watch the rest of our content here at Goal Line Hockey. We've got a bunch of videos coming up here before the deadline. Stay tuned for that. And Tanner, like I said, I have a Hurricanes video coming up this week, so stay tuned for that. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching the stream, and I'll see you again next time. Peace.